Classics, bit of armor also picked up on the XSET side of things, as they will be the aggressors. This their choice of map. Already showing their hand, going over to the B site. Nothing slow, nothing methodical about this. It's just raw, ruthless aggression. And they forced away the chamber. Frosty has to just back off, wait for the cavalry to arrive.
Oh my god, Death spots them all. Oh, that must have been a jump scare for him. He just swings out and spots 3 players, and now Aaron has to try to come cover this. This is going to be a tough hole. Cryo trying to push defensive spawn to try to make it a little bit easier, but he's got to deal with 2 players here. He doesn't even know about Frosty. Now he does.
Oh, that spin, though, just instantly wraps around and takes a lot of damage. Cryo, in the meanwhile, 70 HP left. Scuba's about to peek him. Scuba should have him dead to rights, and indeed he does. BCJ from range. Spike planted for him. Aaron has the lineup. Snakebite up and over. Will connect onto that spike. Actually, did it miss? No, it's just landed now. And now Aaron is going to have to try and clutch this one out. His Snakebite takes one player, and it's classic the other. XSET claim first blood in our second map.
Yeah, Aaron will adjust his pocket protector and his glasses with the nerd snake bites onto the spike there. Even had BCJ ready to go with, if he need be, with his utility. Some big fights also got won towards those back halls to really help set up these snake bites. That's cool, man, to see Aaron have all that ready to go. I mean, Aaron in his own right was a guy who used to play some Lewis on this team before Second got there. So, I know he's made kind of a little bit pivot playing some Sentinels and some Viper, and had a big round there for sure.
I think it also shows why you had Depth going out aggressively and looking for that information. It allowed Aaron the time to line up, to be in a position where he could throw in those snake bites and could effectively just outright win the round late game.
Right.
Oh, you would not want to be one of these Knights players stuck on the pyramids right about now. There are so many angles you have to watch out for with low firepower, and well, the round is falling into place. Cryo doubles up. Should be getting a third, but actually gets nullified through the double doors from the Headhunter of Frosty. And so I'll keep him a bit more honest, but the post plant is already in, and this round is looking like it's only going one way.
Yes, Vince. I think you are correct. Vandal will get recycled here by Death. Aaron catches Ziff slipping, and okay, second. Okay, sir. Hot start for XSET Vince, but now they must play the bonus against the full buy of Knights, and round you usually would favor the buying team to win, but if XSET can somehow sneak in the bonus, then that would just put them even further out in front. So this is a big round here. If you're Knights, you really want to win this. You know, you come in as the underdog. We know that Breeze has been a tough map for them. Last couple times they've played it, establishing themselves on their first buy would be a big move. I say that, but this is kind of a bulky bonus. There's 3 rifles in play. It's not just Spectres.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I believe they have the Sheriff as well thrown in. But as you say, very bulky indeed. This is not going to be a gimme by any stretch for the Knights.
Yep.
Have to work hard. There's 4 players over on the A site to kick the round off. They're completely giving up mid-control.
Yeah, and they knew that there was an A-Hall presence there on the XSET side of things, and so they kind of block it off and back away to B. They do have players in the lobby ready to go. It is a indeed stack, like you said, from Knights at A. They have no mid-control. They're now finally getting intel on A-Halls with the Owl Drum, but it may be a little too late as XSET are looking to pounce again. They're able to establish that Viper utility on A, but they still have the Astra to be able to start attacking here with these stars to block off the tunnel and really put the pressure on this front side player.
Cryo going in first. The Astra stars are so on point. Frosty gets one, but that's all he will get. And that'll be more than good enough for XSET to yield a spike plant. Maybe a little bit labored, as they're still a bit cognizant of a re-engage and maybe some utility being tossed their way. They've also upgraded, I believe it was a Guardian towards a Vandal now.
Yep.
So they've got an even better arsenal of weaponry and 3 players coming from their spawn.
Yeah, and Aaron's still controlling this mid-tunnel, so they know that it's really only flank and defensive tunnel they have to worry about until Aaron starts to hear something or feel presence. And so this bonus for XSET has a chance to work, and oh, that's a big find for BCJ. Hunter's Fury comes out. He's looking to put the heat on him. Does get the tags onto Ziff.
Forces him away, and it allows Aaron to slither his way in. And that deadly Viper has struck down with real venom. everyone that was trying to push through onto the main side. And that's mainly off the Hunter's Fury. It completely wrecked any momentum that the Knights had on that re-engage.
Indeed it didn't. Again, XSET are showing you the power of Astra on this map that you don't normally see because so many teams prefer the single controller of just the Viper. He's able to have Aaron create that presence on A with the toxic screen, make it tough on defenses to read the lay of the land, and then he can just drop Astra Stars and really disrupt anyone who wants to play on the front of that B site, push them back, give Crowd that space to dash in the pillar, and that's when they can get their foothold on the site. And now PK have to save, and XSET can start building up a big lead early here on the attack.
Guiding Light in the distance did just land onto a player, but they're not pushing behind it just yet. Viper has now put the toxic screen down to try and cordon off this B area. Cryo around the back. Does go down to the hands of Frosty. That is a classic as well. It will be a one and done though, and this is where the site is now completely open for business. Post plant comes into effect after Zekken gets the spike down, and well, this round should be going in the way of XSET, or perhaps I spoke too soon.
Yeah, Scuba does dodge the shock dart. Will he get the second one dodged? Now he's getting healed up a little bit. Gangsta gets a kill, and BCJ's in a lot of trouble. He is stuck here. He's getting attacked by Trailblazer. He's getting put from window. And oh my goodness, Knights are about to get an eco win.
What the hell happened here, XSET? Everything was looking so good, and it's come crumbling down. Depth can only get one. And indeed, it's going to be Thrifty, an eco win for the Knights.
XSET are going to be kicking themselves, man. They had a 4-on-4. They were up against an eco. They were getting spiked down on site. They had full control. And it just really comes down to the fact that they get caught staying inside that B lobby area. BCJ gets pinched. His teammate falls. They don't get Scuba down. Everything goes wrong on their hold outside the site. It all came crumbling down. And so Knights get a big lifeline back into this half with that win. Economy now fragile for XSET as well. If they lose, they'd be saving. That's where PK can really put the hurt on them. So XSET need to win this round to keep control of the half.
It's very true. They can bounce back though. PK would still be in pretty rough position. And out goes through the tube. Depth also lowering his stars, opening the door. Now double-pronged hit on towards the A side. Players down on the box. Meanwhile, Null Command has also been deployed. Scuba's in a good position, but he's just been grav-welled out of spot, and that's going to be him dead. Such a good gravity well tossed in from Depth and XSET.
And now Viper Spit goes down. The spike gets planted. They maintain some presence on the site. They have K still under their control as well. Def gets flanked, but Cryo found a kill on the Frosty in the meantime, keeping XSET a man out in front.
Frags back and forth, but the Knight's actually standing their ground. Band just gets two. Aaron's all alone. Has the Viper's pit, but that's his only ally at this stage. Seeker's also coming out. Has been denied. Guiding Light does nothing. Aaron sprays him for one, but that's all he's gonna get. PK take the round.
This is another round that XSET let slip, Vince. They lose an eco with man advantage and firepower advantage and spike down, and now they lose this. They had it right in their hands. They did such a good job attacking the site, Vince. They get in. They get some clean entries with the split from A-Halls and Ks. They get, again, that sick gravel to get them an entry onto the site. They have such good presence all across the board, and somehow they just keep letting it slip through their fingers. Now, that spike plant will give them still a chance to get a buy here, as Cryo does have Blade Storms. They still get pretty much a full buy, though Def will be on the Guardian instead of an auto rifle, but I'm just shocked by how XSET are dropping some of these rounds, but credit where credit's due for Knights fragging out to get the steal.
Yeah, you've got to give them a lot of props here for just digging in, having tenacity, grit, and staying the course. There has to be another element that you look over at XSET and you think, guys, this should really, on another day, be a 5-0 lead for you right now.
Absolutely. Just the way that they're attacking these sites and getting the early advantages in map control, yeah, you feel like they should be putting these away. Because now they're trying to attack up middle right now at Cryo's Blade Storm. They do push Ban off tunnel. He's trying to get a peek into sight. Frosty playing the back. All the daggers are wasted there, and Frosty takes minimal damage. And he will even get healed back to 100, so no problem. And yeah, while mid control's taken and now defensive spawn can be threatened, XSET really haven't gained what they were looking for.
Death has got himself into top mid, though, towards the spawn side. And if he can snake his way around the back, maybe some shenanigans could be forthcoming. Frosty, behind Toxic Pit, Toxic Screen, I should say, is going to get fragged, and suddenly, in the blink of an eye, 3 kills come down. XSET looking to return the favor.
Yeah, XSET, again, dominate the early portion of the round, get control of Spike, and you feel like surely they're not letting a 5-on-2 slip. Nah, I think they got this one, Vince. I think this is 4-2. I think the weapons are just maybe even going to get saved. And I'll say this, Vince. So. Knights have to figure something out fast. They are losing so much map control early in these rounds. They have no tabs on A-halls. They have no tabs on middle. They don't really... They're just kind of sitting back and getting picked apart by XSET finding the gaps. Because XSET are very proactive early. And while Def goes down, the round will still go to XSET.
Zekan makes short work of Gangster. He's sure that one less rifle will pass into the next one. Does seem like PK will save one player fairly comfortably, as the Viper is on the other side of the world right now to XSET. But a 4-2 lead comes into play, and as you say, Knights really, they've got to get their heads together.
Yeah, because here's the thing. When you're playing against single controller defensively, you'll see a lot of teams just kind of play one player B. And then they'll either double up or triple up on A, maybe have one person watching for the mid push into defensive spawn. And they just play like that heavier A defense because they know that in a single controller comp, all that utility is usually being spent at A, and so that means that the B attack's a little bit harder because you're not going to have that utility for the hit. But double controller, whole different ball game. Astra has so much utility with her stars, and she can practically use all of it on B if she wants to because the Viper has A taken care of by itself. And so that changes everything. That makes B more of a threat. I mean, normally B's a claustrophobic side to attack. It's kind of tough, but when you have so much utility you can lob in there to eliminate what corners you have to check, what space you need to worry about, and you still can just keep maintaining presence with the Viper on A, everything's open to you now. And this is such a large map. And what it really causes, Vince, is that a defensive team has to be proactive somewhere. They either need to be pushing Ks, pushing A-halls, getting aggressive in middle. You know, something has to be happening to try to, you know, deny that map control, give yourself some early information to play off of to make your call on what rotations you want to do or something along those lines. So I think in this tactical timeout, what Knights need to be thinking to themselves is, hey, we've got to get proactive somewhere. We need to buddy up, you know, push Ks, push A-halls, something. That or we need to stack A and just play B retake and make sure that we maintain good numbers for that retake as opposed to getting whittled down to such a big man disadvantage before we even get a chance to set up that retake.
A lot of very good ideas there, Dust, but let's see if they do follow through. It seems like at least the A stack is open.
It's found out, though. That 0 point discovered everything about this, and now XSET can just back off.
Well, forced Gangster's hand to use the Hunter's Fury as well. He's going to land very little from this.
I think he tagged Aaron once at the last shot. But yeah, now B's vulnerable, and A-halls is still being controlled by BCJ. And BCJ is watching for this flank through Case. He does get caught, though, and that's big for Knights. That's what they needed. Cosmic Divide goes down, though. They locked him into B, and now it's only Frosty standing here. His rotation's so far off. He's got to get a kill.
He's done good work here before, though, at least getting one. There's the frag. Rendezvous out, but Cryo was up to the task. Realized what was coming up. Will be a spike plant in from depth, and Cryo gets up close. The recon drone just got nullified. He knows the Gangster's here. That's only half the battle, though. Gangster's playing so well around the corner, and he knew that Ban had his back covered. Cryo felt compelled to go aggressive because of the player deficit, and now Depth is going to go the same way. Gets aggressive, but gets pushed. And Zekan surely has no chance. He's stood on a snake bite as well. He's been corroded away where he stands. And PK with a successful retake.
Yeah, they finally maintain numbers for that retake. You know, catching BCJ, getting the quick 5-on-4, it gives them finally an edge on a retake. And like you said, XSET felt the need to maybe go for a play since they were a man down. They didn't just want to sit on site. And they wound up kind of getting caught for it. You know, I think they would have been more content to play back in a 3 versus 4 if they would have still had BCJ shock darts alongside Aaron snake bites, and you can be a bit more passive and just play disruption, but they didn't have that available with BCJ gone, so they felt, okay, we got to get a push and get a kill, and it just didn't happen for them. Knights dueled very well there. They get their win, keep the score close. They've won 3 of the last 4, actually, and that means economy fragile for XSET. If they lose this, Knights could take the lead.
They'll be hungry to try and take the lead in this game right now, especially as they find themselves a map behind the grand finals. Big moments call for big plays, and is Scuba the man for the task? He's been so good, so consistently for the Knights. And here comes the Hunter's Fury. Gangster, though, gets one beforehand onto Cryo. That's a huge pick. And now Aaron goes from strength to strength. Ban is holding the line by himself. He has a good crossfire established as well from Scuba, who replenishes the Viper's screen. Flash through, does very little. Follow-up damage is there, but BCJ, he comes back with 2 before he gets splatted. And Gangster and Frosty have got it done for the Knights. It was a scrappy fight, but one that they've won.
Yeah, I mean, if BCJ gets those first 2 kills, and you think, all right, maybe they can reel it back in, but then the A-Hall's push gets caught. I believe it was Frosty who picked up a net on the chamber inside A-Hall's, and that kind of silenced XSET. XSET, though, surprisingly, still actually can buy here, though it does mean that they have to go for a Spectre on Aaron. A couple of Guardians to come out, a Marshall comes out from Cryo. It's a smart buy, though, because they can still full buy next round, but it does give them a lot of firepower in this one.
Out through middle is Depth, hoping they can find some headshots with that Guardian. Trailblazer goes across. Cryo sees that. Seems like we have ourselves a very tight, close game in store again here, Dust. It wasn't looking like it at the start of this map, that's for sure.
Yeah, like I said, feel like XSET had the opportunity to be up 5-0. They wound up being only up 3-2 because they just lost a couple of post plants. I feel like they just really let slip. One of those was a Thrifty even, so XSET had their chances to dominate, but fell short. But Def creating some disturbances out here in the middle with the Guardian. We're seeing Ziff try to maybe come out and trade him right now. Crowd putting the pressure on, and he's still alive somehow. Picks up a rifle. May get Frosty down. No, Frosty holds for him. That's big, and they got kills on the other side of the map as well.
Yeah, so important there. The rest of the team on A was doing a good job as well, so it's down to a 2-on-4. XSET getting aggressive. Out comes BCJ and Scuba, one of the easier kills that he'll have today. And Ziff will oblige. Indeed, the Knights do take the lead after being so many rounds behind.
Yeah, they're doing really good work here. Money is there for XSET, but now they're going to call the timeout. And it's hard to say what XSET should really change. I feel like they're doing really good in their early round map control. Like when they want to get mid and pressure tunnels and A doors, they've been able to do that. Whenever they've done their B set plays, those have worked out quite well. So, I mean, I feel like initially they do pretty well in a lot of these rounds on getting kills and making things happen. It's just they've let a couple of post plants slip. That's really the biggest thing. Otherwise, they'd be, you know, still well out in front. And then the economy kind of caught up to them in the last round, obviously. Maybe a little bit disjointed with the crowd kind of trebucheting himself into be alone. But outside of that, it's hard to say what really needs to change for them. I think maybe this could be more just like a calming tactical pause, just to kind of slow things down a little bit, kind of just mentally reset and just realize, hey, you know, our game plan's working out fine. We just got to tidy up these post plants now that we're back onto a full buy. And so unless XSET maybe had some type of set play up their sleeve they haven't thrown out there yet in their playbook that they want to try out, you know, that's always a possibility. But yeah, hard to say.
Well, if it was the detox period, it has now come to an end, and they've got to get themselves back into the mindset of aggressors, all Vandals across on XSET.
And that's fine.
No command, that's it.
Yeah, and that's fine, because Cryo's a very good rifler. Like, really good. I think he's like,
have to show it hidden this round, I think.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's like one of the few jets I can think of that are not handicapped by just being a primary rifle for even a whole attacking half on some maps. He'll do that. So.
Yeah, and with the kit that Jet has, it does afford you a lot of mobility. So if you can run and gun, get that Vandal up close, it can still be absolutely devastating in the right hands. Much slower pace here, though, Dust. It seems like they have made a couple of adjustments to start the round off with. Yeah,
it's definitely a different setup as well, though, from Knights defensively. They put their chamber at A, and now they have a double stack of Viper and Jet on B site. So a little bit of a different look, including the Blade Storm available on a boosted player. A little bit of a one-way poison orb being put up here on the corner, and the Seekers come out, and they know what's going on here. Northman comes out, but Ziff gets a huge headshot on the Cryo.
No command, we'll see Zekan just run and gun, but he's going to get completely destroyed, and Aaron up on the boost spot will finally deal with Scuba. That null command can't be resurrected just yet. 3 seconds to go, and Gangster is going to lock it down with Scuba and Ban. XSET, they tried the different pace, they tried a different idea, but it's the same outcome. It's
the same outcome because Knights made a good adjustment. They put Scuba up in a kind of boosted position on site that XSET were just not ready for, plain and simple, and Ziv hits a big kill on the Cryo. So Cryo has honestly been kind of silenced. Like, he hasn't really been able to get those clean entries for his team to create that space. And it's not like I'm trying to say he's, you know, playing badly or something. He actually had a pretty good start to the game, but it's just Knights are starting to kind of silence him a little bit in these early rounds, and they're starting to get dynamic with their defense and settle into the half.
Viper's Pit out onto the A main side is going to make this a lot more tentative for XSET if they want to push this one aggressively. Aldrone out first. A couple players in the tube as well. A lot of damage actually inflicted to Zeka, and he has to back away, getting healed up right now.
Yeah, Viper's Pit actually has to get forfeited, and Crowd finds that entry with the Sheriff all of a sudden. Now the attacking Viper's Pit goes down onto Pyramids to try to set up a spike plant. Scuba and Co trying to fight back. They have it on equal footing, and they have the better firepower as BCJ comes in. Fakes the spike, trying to lure someone out. Scuba does spam, but no frags just yet. Will he try his luck again? BCJ able to get the spike down.
Spike and also survive. Able to pull the plug and retreat out of there. Cosmic Divide now has also been tossed in for good measure, keeping the attackers isolated from the defenders who now need to re-engage. The 0 point does very little. Guiding light behind it, though, is good, and they found Ban's position. Zeken's going to throw this one out with the flashbang. Flash again. Zeken has to force himself into a position to re-engage if they go in for that defuse, but they're lining up, and BCJ is putting them down. There is enough time if he sticks this spike right now. BCJ on less HP. Ban's going for the full defuse. BCJ doesn't realize it. It's going to be the full defuse underneath BCJ's nose, and heartbreak for XSET. Insult to injury as he gets splattered afterwards.
That is tough. That's 3 post plants now where XSET have had advantage and still could not come up with it. They just lose a couple of key fights towards the end, and BCJ just has to guess. Is he sticking or is he not? You know, tries to play the more conservative option and sit back. And unfortunately, he guessed wrong. That's really all it is, and Knights have just put on a performance 5 rounds in a row, 7 of the last 8. Such a hot start for XSET, such an opportunity for a big half, and it's just been silenced. And oh, here we go again. Ziv, big kill onto Zeken.
They're hoping to get a 5th round. That is a very sober reminder that there is a lot of talent they have to play up against. Steps in the meanwhile through on the tube, not for the first time, using that Astra to get up close with the Vandal, but he comes out second best. Ban locks it down. Hunter's Fury also engaged across. Cryo jumps in amongst it and takes Gangster down. Alongside BCJ, Cryo, though, is sneaking his way around the back, stuck on the rope, but still deals a fatal damage to Ban. How has this happened for XSET?
He spotted Frosty as well. Yeah, I don't know. Hunter's Fury actually gets the kill, and Cryo takes a lot of space back and gets the read on Frosty's rotation through defensive spawns. They know they're not being flanked. Now we're able to see Cryo get into middle. And so they have some good post-plant position. This is going to be so tough for Frosty. He does have his ult, so he could pop that, try to take a long-range fight, as well as still have the Vandal in play.
It feels like one of the biggest issues here, though, is he has no idea where these two are. Stands to reason one would be in the cave, but where is the second player? Snakebite now backs off the wall, going for that full defuse. Knows he has to come off it. No idea. He has absolutely no idea where this final player is, and Cryo will say hello with a blade.
Situations again, I feel like XSET could have been very well the team up 7-5 or even 8-4 just because of how well they played attack early round. They just could not close a couple of key rounds. We'll see how they change things up as Crowd gets aggressive out in the middle. Detects a lot of players, able to get away. Takes a lot of damage, though, in the process. Doesn't really dish much out. That's just B-sides being taken pretty convincingly here by Knights. It will have to be the retake from XSET. Daft trying to be the first person to kick it off, but he falls to ban, and so Knights getting some good control here.
Yeah, very comfortable and clean plant. Good post-plant positions. The Headhunter from Frosty could do tons of damage, but actually he's gone down as Aaron continues to just turn the knife, twist it. Gangster from the back. He's going to fall prey to Aaron as well. One of the 2 remaining players is low on the sky. It's not planted the spike for either of them. And in goes Aaron! Oh, what a clutch! What an ace! He's given XSET every chance to come back in this game.
Oh my god, how does he do that, Vince? They do everything right. They double face him off the wall, and he just kills them both. How? How is that real? That's so dirty.
That round looked like it was absolutely over, Dust, and multiple times he stood up, they lined up for him, headshot, and then the low ban was last.
Oh my god,
and instantly XSET are in this game once more.
Oh my, he's had such a big game too, 20 kills. Maybe that's the spark they need to wake up some of the other players who have had kind of a rough go at things to kick things off here.
Yeah, if that doesn't inspire and motivate you, I don't know what will, honestly.
Yeah. That's like the virtual version of the locker room speech at halftime.
1-for-1. Frosty, undeterred by losing that previous round, Depp has the choice of multiple targets, and Cryo comes in for a 3K and a 4K on top of it.
There you go.
XSET have tied us up.
And if Cryo's going to wake up, things get spicy. As that man can frag out. He has been so consistent and so impactful through the bulk of this event, as well as through the bulk of XSET's qualification for VCT this year. So if he all of a sudden starts feeling confident and getting things going, things could get real interesting. But it is now the bonus for XSET, a tough test to pass as the full buy's out for Knights, and they've been pretty good on some of these rapid attacks. You know, when we saw them with these quick pace hits on buy, and they look deadly. And they have the firepower advantage here. This is one of those maps where these quick pace attacks at A could be very fruitful.
That's a good snake bite, though. Keeps two of the attackers at bay. Actually kind of cordon us off. If they were thinking about pressing the button and going in, that completely cut them off guard.
Yeah, that's a different kind of Viper wall at A as well. It's a little bit deeper in the site, not the shallow one. But they're trying to pivot back to B, but I mean, XSET have the read. They're already shuffling some players over here, getting ready for this very possibility. It will still likely have to play for retake, however.
Oh, Zach.
The timing.
You sneaky, sneaky man. Sure that PK will have some stronger words than that, but Cryo now with that Marshall going from strength to strength, connecting left and right. Blade Storm out. He knows it's Ziff around the corner of the pillar, but it's Scuba that could be more of an issue. Scuba's now been dealt with, but Ziff instantly repels, instantly retorts. The HP certainly favoring XSET at this point. Ziff down to 30 and Aaron at full, and we've seen just a brief glimpse of what this guy's capable of, but Ziff is up to the task. 1v1 clutch to the Knights.
Yeah, and that was the bonus for XSET, and so you know that they can be tough to win, but I feel like they were in position to do it. Cryo is doing a great job. You know, Zekken catches a timing on Ban, who's still in his Trailblazer. Cryo starts popping off with the Marshall, gets his ult, makes some big plays with that as well. I think what I don't like, Vince, is this right here. There's no need for that. You have a 2 versus 1, spike that on site. You're still waiting for Aaron to rotate. I don't feel like Cryo needed to make himself vulnerable there by going up top like that. I think that was the key error that XSET made. That lost him the round, in my opinion.
Yeah, another slight mistake that's cost them dearly. And Ziff with that Blade Storm, gonna be inside the Viper's pit. It's actually out on the site, pardon me, and Aaron's gone down. Straight up wrecked by Frosty. Ziff comes out, and now it's just going from strength to strength, landing frags left and right. Zekken on the other side of the double doors needs to be careful. Instead, puts the bullet perfectly through the double doors into the head. And 3-play-3, as XSET is still in with a chance of this round with that Nebula in such good timing, has cleared as Cryo dusts away Gangster, but Ban answers straight back. Cryo now slowly sneaking his way through cave, but his position is known. Ban connecting that guiding light. He still has a good idea as to where Scuba's position is, but Scuba gives him a parting gift with a headshot. Zekken knows now where the final remaining Knight player once resided, but Scuba has got up close and personal, and the Vandal again is going to clutch out for the Knights.
A lot of tight rounds here, but Knights are collecting, and that time it was just good play. Good push out U-Haul, or excuse me, the A-Haul. Great use of the Blade Storm by Ziff. Win a couple of key fights. While Crowd gets a good flank off that catches Gangsta. 2v2 goes the way of Knights. They played that really smart. Now XSET back into a tough spot. They do buy what they can here. Guardian for Cryo, Marshall for Zekin, a couple of upgraded pistols, Guardian for Def as well, actually. So this is a pretty heavy investment for XSET.
Oof, bit of flirtation, but it's Ban that actually claims the first, and it's Cryo that goes down to the Vandal again.
Yeah, just tries to solo push AKs and gets caught. And this, again, this was a big investment from XSET. They didn't just buy upgraded pistols to full buy next. They bought Guardians and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, this is potentially devastating if this doesn't work out.
I got the spike.
Seek is available if Ban should choose to punch them in, alongside the Hunter's Fury. So if this plant goes in, it's hard to see a way that XSET can bounce back. The fragment is good, bit of stall. 0 Point also tossed in for good measure, but Depth now going to be called upon. Zekken with the Marshal stuck at the back of the pyramids. Has players all around him. The toxic screen has been put into the spot on the site, and Frosty up close dispatches, but he does get countered back from BCJ. Good frag from Depth on the Guardian. They're keeping themselves in this round, only just though, and now the Seekers will try and find their targets. It forces Depth's hand to make some noise. Great shot from Depth, though. Down to a one-on-one. His teammate got one before he fell. He has no idea where exactly Scuba is, but he assumes correctly that Scuba's between the pyramids. And now just down to timing. Viper's Pit also been used, trying speculatively to tap through the wall, see if he can just land that cheeky headshot, but it's not going to be forthcoming. And now Depth has to try and get around the periphery of the pit, and Scuba says no. The Knights, after losing that ace clutch from Arin, have just looked insurmountable for XSET.
They really have. They've won every clutch situation, which these final 3 rounds have been tight. They've come down to these 2v2, 1v1 type scenarios, and Knights are winning all of them, man. They are just keeping their composure. They're not letting XSET rattle them, despite every now and then getting a dagger thrown at them, you know, losing a player along the way, even against a low buy. That one got close and stressful, but they held on, and they got the win. And XSET now take a tactical, try to call for maybe some type of adjustment. They do have enough credits to buy here from what I could tell before the timeout got called. I did seem to see some purchasing going on, so they're actually able to get a little bit of something going. But yeah, I mean, again, it's crazy how the tables have turned on this map. XSET go up big in the first half early and let a couple of rounds slip, losing to a Thrifty, losing another clutch that they probably should have had because they had advantage. And then all of a sudden, Knights has just been in full control since then, and they've never looked back.
That for me is maybe one of the most destructive and damning aspects of it, though, does that it's taken these moments of just outrageous individual talent to even get XSET in the game for this last sort of 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I just think there's been a couple of key mistakes. Again, you look back to those 2 rounds in the first half that XSET lost. You look back to the clutch round where Cryo jumps up and gets caught and puts Air in a tough 1v1 that he loses, and it's just little things like that that have added up for XSET. Meanwhile, Knights have been playing, again, this fast-paced attack style. They're trading efficiently, and they're winning out the clutch moments. You can't ask really for more than that.
Both Owl drones tossed in straight away, do pass one another through middle. Double doors the designated target from the Knights. XSET down middle. Operator shots missing one another. However, Cryo stands his ground. Gangsta, oh, the timing.
I think he was on the other side of the wall anyway. I don't think Cryo would have been able to get a look. Either way, though, yeah, at least the adjustment here from XSET has been to try to patrol middle with, you know, the operator, but it's not been able to hit. Now it rotates in the hands of Cryo to try to lock down A site, which is certainly going to be attacked. Viper has yet to lay down a toxic screen yet onto A site, though, so XSET aren't quite sure what's going on here. Ziff catches Death's aggression in A halls. Trailblazer comes out. Cryo's going to have to deal with it by himself. I'm surprised a teammate didn't shoot that for him. Now he's in trouble. He gets caught.
A Trailblazer into Hunter's Fury into Operator is a very rough day at the office. BCJ only good for 1. And this is really off the back of Depth losing that fight in Tube.
Yeah.
Like, he had the right position and still got operated down. Now Zekken's in such a bad spot to try and hold the line, and the Knights are just making a sprint towards the finish line in our second map.
I feel like XSET's well and truly falling apart at this point. Like, the wheels are very much off the wagon. And now they have to come into this for Sheros. They have to just save and basically play for extra rounds unless they want to force buy here. Which if it doesn't work, then it's basically GG. I don't know if they'll try to take a middle approach. Looks like they are. Marshall out for BCJ, Spectre for Aaron. Not sure what else their investments are going to be, but yeah, they just got completely dismantled that round. Like you said, Def gets caught in A-halls. Again, I can't for the life of me understand why that Trailblazer wasn't taken care of, so that crowd didn't have to worry about it, so you get the op trained on caves, and he gets stunned, and then it unlocks A site.
A lot of head-scratching moments, but whichever way you spin it, set 11-7 lead. As PK now looking to try and get aggressive again. Fragment down, Hunter's Fury behind it as well. Scuba should be gone, but still takes a kill and survives? How is that even possible?
Hard to say. Cryo, though, gets the play onto Scuba on the corner, trying to pick up a weapon inside of his smoke, but gets spammed down. Punished for his approach. And now it's even tougher for XSET. 3 versus 4 with low firepower, trying to retake. Def still well out of position as well.
Brutal twist of events. As Depth, though, does pass the Sheriff shot into the head of Frosty. Timing nearly allowed BCJ the frag, but it's a 1 for 2 against XSET. And Depth stock towards middle, looking at the site, but there's no real way he can clutch this. He would need a headshot right now, and even then time would be against him, and it won't be coming his way. Instead, the bullet will be traveling to his head. 12-7, 5 map points.
Yeah, big chance for Knights to push this to the 3rd map of Icebox at this point. In fact, you certainly heavily favor them to do so at this point. They have just looked totally on point, while XSET kind of look lost at sea at times, I feel like. This has just been such a big turnaround. Look at that timeline. Only 4 rounds have been fit in from XSET in just a sea of Knights. So they've just been crushing it. Several, like, 4 to 5 round winning streaks. And now mid-control being taken with Seekers and Guiding Light. Cryo pushed off, darted. He's in trouble.
Aaron with 1. Cryo does allow them the sanctuary of a 2-player advantage, and it seems that finally XSET are going to wake up. Not sure if they'll be put back to sleep permanently here on Breeze in the next round, or maybe Gangster has a couple things to say about this one. He has plenty of time. The spike's not in his possession, however. But it's also a pretty damning stat when you consider that out of 7 rounds that XSET have picked up, a lot of them are off the back of the fact they won both pistol rounds here, Dust.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Seems like this one surely should go their way. It really shouldn't be a way back in for Gangsta. Like you said, Spike's not in his possession. He's in a 1-on-4. Trying to see if he can catch a little bit of something. They have to spot him, so they've confirmed that he's still B lobby. Now they smoke him off from the spike, and now Gangsta might just have to try to save this operator more than anything, but BCJ's flanking in behind, so he may not even get that chance.
Yeah, this flank is pretty much going to be an end to his life if it picks up a bit of pace. Of course, XSET's economy is not in great shape, so if he can do a few more kills, a bit more damage, he's done his job realistically. Good shot. This is where that flank... Oh, actually, it's gone the wrong side of the wall. Oh my god, this timing. Every time Gangsta zigs, their team zags, but it doesn't matter. Zekken finally gets his man, and XSET have their first round in what will probably feel like forever.
Yeah, they haven't gotten too many lately. Like you said, they got the 3-0 start in the first half, 2-0 start in the second. Certainly had their chances in the first half to do more early, but got caught out by Thrifty and lost a lot of clutches that Knights were able to capitalize on. But now they get the op save for Cryo. They have a lot of alts. Full buy for them. Full buy still out there for Knights, though, as well. These rounds aren't going to get easier, because I feel like they're just always going to be buying power for Knights. And now X are looking to get aggressive in A caves. Looks like it may work out. No one's there. This could be huge for XSET to finally get an early map control play that works out.
Moving an uphill climb. Oh, okay. I was about to say, if that passed Aaron, That would have been a key aspect that went unchecked, but Aaron did shut down the Trailblazer anyway.
Yeah, I like that he did that because he helps them sell this K's push even more. BCJ gets 1 kill, able to get away as well, but Scuba's up here at A-Halls. Will he realize it? Yes, he does, but now he's getting pinched. He's trying to back off, and he will just get away. And gets Orb. And spots him. Again, continues to be able to back off. That's big. If he would have got caught, you feel like this could have been a huge problem.
As the Viper's pit onto A main side, they're going to have to make their move through that toxic cloud if they want to hit A, unless they, of course, bypass that by going through the tube, which is what they're looking to do right now. And Zekken, he's up here, they're lining up. It's a double spray, double headshots. And he sees a third player. He knows that Frosty is here, so all the utility tossed in for good measure. The flash is on point. The spike hits the ground. And with that decked player, as if a last man standing as blades go awry. XSET save a second map point, but there's 3 more to go.
Indeed there is. And I think there's still money for Knights to buy here, yeah. So, not going to get any easier. Again, XSET choose to play assertive on K's. It's fruitful. Zekken, big hold on a Hall. But are these big individual plays going to be able to be replicated? Is kind of the question, especially if Knights start making adjustments. Again, they just need to fit 1 more in, and it's map 3. Meanwhile, XSET have to find 3 more in a row just to force extra rounds, just have a chance to avoid a 3rd map. And don't get me wrong, that would be quite the comeback, because they've looked really grim at times throughout this game. Like, they've really just kind of slipped, and they looked a little bit lost at times. Meanwhile, Knights look polished. They are attacking together very well. A lot of things are going their way. So if you know, XSET could reset and figure out a way to reel this one back into OT, that would be massive.
Oh, absolutely. What a time to pull it off in the grand finals as well. Seems like when Knights are winning rounds, it's a well-coordinated, oiled machine. And when XSET do, it's just someone popping off and going massive, like whether it be Aaron in that crazy clutch in the 2nd pistol round, or Zekken in that previous one, locking it down single-handedly on the tube. As you say, can you rinse and repeat this? We're about to find out, because Knight's tactical timeout has come to a close. In terms of their buy, they can have pretty much everything they want.
Indeed. I will say this, though. If Knights lose this, they might have to save for last round of regulation.
True.
So, I mean, it would get easier all of a sudden then. But Frosty does have Total Force out, so that gives him that free sniper. They test A-Halls. Big stack, though, from XSET towards A side here early. 2 A-Halls, 2 on A side. They're just trusting in Cryo's op to hold B alone. And, oh, Frosty gets doinked. He can get healed, however.
Jeez. Just straight bullet through the smoke to the head. Must have been a jump scare for him. Aldron has revealed his position. Now, at this stage, they know that A-Hall's tube is pretty much under heavy threat, so they can react accordingly. 4 players over here right now.
Yeah, Cryo has to be real careful, though, because he's all alone. And he has to worry about maybe getting flanked through middle. I think BCJ might be watching that through doors to kind of make sure that he's not getting pushed there for now. But eventually, that time will pass, and a lot will be put on his shoulders. As now he's starting to get a little bit of help from Def, who's going to be playing top mid. So they're starting to kind of adjust a little bit defensively. Time running low, though, so Knights have to make a decision here. It looks like they still want to go for the A split through K's and through door. They're putting that Viper toxic screen down. Frosty's still patrolling A halls. It's all going to come down to this A attack, man.
Burning light out. 0 point as well. And that null command instantly gets suppressed. 10 seconds for the resurrection. May not come through because BCJ is still doing damage. Cosmic Divide as a spike gets put into place. And BCJ has to try and survive here. Needs to live for the rest of his team to pivot off. And he's doing so much work. BCJ having so much impact in this round. Ban is now stuck between a rock and a hard place. And there's bullets whizzing past his head. Going in for that defuse. Good frag through the cloudburst. But that is going to be where he comes to an abrupt end. And XSET get a 10th round.
Indeed they do. BCJ will come on, finish off the spike so we can start building up that Hunter's Fury. Blade Storm already available for Cryo. BCJ a couple off still from Hunter's Fury, however, and the other alts were spent. Meanwhile, here's where all of a sudden things have to get a little bit more conservative for Knights. They can still buy up a little bit on a couple of their players. They do have some reserve cash there, and they can certainly full buy next round. Obviously, it'll be last round regulation. They'll buy what they can. And yeah, they have a couple of Marshals, a Guardian, a couple of Sheriffs. I mean, they definitely pack a little bit of a punch here, but certainly they're saving up for that last big hurrah final round of the regulation.
And there's still enough firepower, though, in this round to make a go of things if XSET take their eye off the ball.
Of course. Oh, a big miss. Can he even get away? Oh, that's scary, but he does actually find a way to dart out. There's no one there at mid to blindside him.
Fortunately, just before that shot as well, there was another death elsewhere. As damage inflicted to Frosty on the Guardian down to 85. Did dish out a little bit himself.
Yeah. Scuba does get deep up A-Halls, though. It is being watched by Def, but he's low on health, so he could definitely get picked up. Trailblazer starts clearing out some space at middle. Ziff off the back of that moves forward to pin down mid control. Does have an angle here with the operator through tunnel to sight. Zekin, or I guess it's a Marshal actually, but he still gets the kill onto Zekin regardless. Cryo at least trades immediately. A attack comes in. Again, how much can Scuba get? You feel like if he gets this kill, this pinch gets deadly.
He doesn't even have to hit the headshot here against Depth either. Depth is very low. This Sheriff will finish him off on a body shot. And Scuba actually takes down. BCJ goes back in for more, takes a ton of damage himself, but is still alive. And very fortunate to survive his death through that snake bite. Finished off, and Scuba keeps taking heads. He's racking them up. Viper's Pit now is put into position. And it all comes down to a Blade Storm on Cryo. Can he clutch this one out, or has Scuba just stole this round away? Both the remaining attackers do hide within the pit. And although Cryo is doing a lap of the site, he's not going to find anybody. He will find the spike, however. But he wants to get up close and personal. Be careful what you wish for. In he comes. There's one. Darts back out again. Up and over. Oh, he misses everything. He's somehow still alive, though. He's got time. Is he going to just hold this one down? On the defuse, he's going for it right now, but comes off. Sprays. Oh, takes the kill. Cryo clutches.
Oh my goodness, that was more stressful than it needed to be. I thought XSET would be more comfortable there because Def seemed to pick up on Scuba and have a chance, but he dies in the gunfight. And then Aaron goes down as well, and all of a sudden the round starts to foil, but Cryo wraps around, knows that the Viper's Pit's going to fall when he picks up on the Viper and then jumps up, and even though he misses his first time of asking, he keeps his nerve and finishes the job. Oh my goodness, Vince, this could come down to overtime. It all comes down to this last buy. Can Knights force the map 3 here and now, or can XSET, despite all of the struggles, still find a way to stay in contention on the second map? What a map this has been.
An incredible seesaw of Valorant. Up and down, both teams have gone. Scuba nearly just pulled off one of the plays of the match, and that's saying something as BCJ puts in the Hunter's Furies. Nothing really connecting.
Nope. That's unfortunate. No tags, no information, no nothing really. Now they just settle back into the A stack, trusting Zekin to kind of anchor B. Seekers go out, Cosmic Divide goes down. Zekin needs a killer, at the very least needs to get the heck out of here and not die. Try to set up for that retake. Big kill from BCJ.
Oh, exquisite shot from Scuba, though, as it always on point, but he has gone down as Cryo in the frag is so good on that flash, and now Zekin is going to lock it down with Cryo. Overtime, here we come.
Oh my goodness, Vince. XSET's done it. They've dug deep. They've won 5 in a row. They were down 12-7, and they have found a way to dig in and put it into extra rounds. Now, essentially sudden death. You gotta win 2 in a row. 1-1 splits mean the train keeps rolling. Oh my goodness, Vince. And now Cryo's on fire. 27 frags. He had such a slow start to the game, but now he is pumped. A-Ring continues to perform. They're leading the server right now in frags. Obviously, I mean, it feels like everyone from Knights at some points had a moment, but certainly Ben and Scuba have taken the cake as far as top fragging. And here we go, man. Can XSET get the job done, or will Knights still force the third?
That is the question, the $20,000 question in this case for the winners. Can they get this one done? PK have let a massive lead slip XSET 2 rounds shy of becoming the finalists, the champions of Nerd Street Gamer Winter Champs. And now Cryo up close. Yeah, you're talking about that train. If there's a train going down the tracks right now, he is the conductor with how he's been playing. Zekin in the meanwhile, though, making the most of that. Scuba gets caught with the Owl drone out, and Depth has gone in elsewhere. Even trades back and forth, though. This is still anybody's round.
It very much is very open for debate. Toxic Stream comes in, though, allows Zekin passage into sight by Pyramid. Zip trying to hold the angle with the operator as Spike comes in. Zekin's been spotted. Aaron gets the kill, but so does Ziff. It stays even 2-2 as the spike goes down. It means BCJ's kind of alone for just a moment as the spike gets planted. Now they're battle back up.
BCJ with a spray, but Frosty slightly off. Aaron has gone in on Ziff. Such an important moment for Frosty as the Viper's Pit initiates onto the site. He's isolated. Darts into the smoke, and Aaron puts him down where he stands. XSET have a championship point suddenly.
Oh my goodness, Vince. They've done it. They've taken advantage. They have not led in such a long time, Vince. I think the last lead they had was when they were up 4-3. That was the middle of the first half. They trailed the entire time since. And now, right here at the finish line, right when someone's about to cross the tape, XSET says, hold on just a second. We're not done yet. And now Knights take a pause. This is it. Tournament life on the line for Knights. They've done well to make these finals. They've already gotten some pretty big upsets, in my opinion, throughout this event. I don't think anyone was expecting them to beat the Guard. Not as powerful as the Guard looked in the VCT qualification, really throughout this tournament. They even got a win over XSET, a crew. Also a team that looked pretty strong in VCT qualifiers. 2 of them as well. Again, this is a team that's been kind of pieced together slowly over time. 4 roster moves since September of last year. Trying to find what puzzle pieces would fit together. And not only did they qualify for VCT in the second qualifier, all of a sudden they found themselves in the grand finals. They're looking to make a statement in the NA scene right now, but XSET, they still want to remain one of the favorites. And they've done what they need to do to get themselves back into winning position.
We are potentially mere moments away from crowning our champions if XSET can cross the finish line. Cryo down on middle. No one forthcoming just yet, but there are players just around in this vicinity. 4 players in mid as Cryo continues to push. This is so aggressive. Is he going to get the reward? He will. Gangster is taken down in the process, and no one is there to counteract onto Cryo. He can stay in position.
And that's big because that's Soviet utility down. That's no Owl drone to spin to try to get you some site control and get you some information. That's one of the biggest players that you can lose early because so much utility is now off the table to help you pave the way forward. As they're getting stalled out with this Nebula, they'll try to walk through it with a guiding light. They do get out into sight. Cryo, though, watching from door, can maybe potentially catch someone on the cross. Does get flashed off position. That allows him safe passage into sight.
Spike down A.
Beautiful dart, as you can see there at the bottom left of your screen, perfectly on the pyramids. They won't deny the spike plant, though. Cryo not far off on that shot as he attempts to snatch the life out of the aggressors. It's Aaron again. Who else that is coming to the forefront and dealing the damage? PK may have the spike plant, but they're heavily outnumbered. They're heavily outgunned, and they may just be about to put down for the final time. Ziff needs to make an outrageous play to clutch this out the jaws of defeat. He valiantly tries his best, but it's going to be XSET taking the championship and being crowned champions.
Oh man, Vince, they do it. Spike is defusing XSET, one of the best of North America.